Good day, everyone! This is the episode 2 of KamUSta Nars. KamUSta Nars is a Health Carousel initiative to reach out to our deployed and working nurses in the US and of course to see how they are doing. Kumusta na kaya sila? Sa episode na to, we will hear from Nurse Myra Katrina, who is now living her American dream, her inspiring story, US journey, but most importantly, helpful tips and advice to aspiring USRNs like you.
How did you adapt with the new environment? Most especially, Myra, iba yung culture dyan.
Paano ba? Kasi, for me, I was exposed kasi to mga foreigners because of my previous work, di ba, in International School Manila. So, I was able to be with different nationalities like Americans, Brits, mga ano. Pero here, the only thing you have to adjust to here talaga is yung, for Filipinos, yung time. Kasi you really have to let go of Filipino time. Talaga. Kasi when they set an appointment, they expect it to be there, not really on time,
earlier
but earlier. Kasi they're there. And then, they expect you to be ready. Kasi nga dito, ang time, very valuable. And ayaw nila na nawi-waste yung time nila. Basta, when they set an appointment with you, you really have to be there. And then, if you need to present something or ano, you have to have everything ready with you. And they don't like beating around the bush. So, napansin ko, they're very direct. So, do away with yung mga, you have to explain yourself and everything because they don't care. Basta pag business sila talaga. So, pero yung ano naman nila, here kasi more on, ano sila more on very professional sila.
So, good. And ano naman ma-advise mo to our candidates na for them to prepare and dadalhin sa US? Yung mga essentials na kailangan nilang dalhin sa US like clothes, medicines, or yung mga documents na kailangan?
Ako initially kasi, Miss Reza, I had an idea where I was gonna live. Tapos I had my sisters were here, so I asked them what kind of weather to expect and everything. So I was able to prepare, like I brought some thick coats, for winter, yung initial winter nyo, kasi syempre you have to save. Eh, syempre medyo mahal dito yung ano. Mura din naman ang clothes, kaya lang syempre pagka season na medyo mahal. So I suggest bring an initial set of winter clothes just to tide you over. And then for medications, yung mga yung mga prescription meds, if you're on maintenance meds, it's better for you to bring like siguro mga 3 months worth of it. Kasi you don't know when you're gonna start with your facility. And then once you start, ang maganda naman with passport is once you start in your facility, they process everything. So you have your insurance with you, you have your dental, your IES will go over that with you, so don't worry about that. Even if you have your family with you, you can bring your family. So pati sila covered na on day 1. So I would suggest just bring mga 3 months worth of your prescription meds. Kasi if you're like on maintenance meds, like for blood pressure or something, you have to have your primary care provider check you out first, and then magbibigay rin sila ng set of prescriptions nila. They will be the ones to prescribe meds for you because you just can't. It's not like there in the Philippines na you can go over the counter kahit wala kang prescription, bibili ka, papayag sila. Dito, hindi talaga. You really have to have a prescription made, and then your provider will call the drugstore, and then you just pick it up with your insurance card. Tapos, ano pa ba? Toiletries, it depends on you if you want. Ako kasi, I have skin asthma. So, I had to bring my own set of yung toiletries na would work for me. But then, when I got here, tapos I finished all my supplies, I tried products here. So, yun, nakabili naman na ako dito. By that time, medyo stable na financially. Nag-work na and stuff. So, you were I was able to buy na everything here. And then, advice ko sa inyo, just be very patient. Tsaka masipag lang. Yun lang. Kasi, yun ang gusto nila sa atin eh. Sa mga Filipino nurses, very masipag. Ako, even if you ask my manager, lagi ako nag-overtime noon just to, hindi na make ends meet. Parang, wala lang, may ipon kasi I have kids and, my husband in 2018 to 2019, it was our conscious decision ng husband ko for him not to work muna. He's gonna be staying with the kids para at least adjustment period ng kids and everything. Someone has to be there for them. So, ayun.
Alright. May mga additional preparations ka bang ginawa? Since, of course, you do have kids with you dyan sa US.
Ang ginawa namin, Miss Reza, they were a company, pero they left the Philippines
Later than you.
Later, di ba? Naalala mo kasi nagka-problema pa yung visa ng isang anak ko. My God, ginawa nilang female. Male na male yung itsura. So, imagine, aalis na sila ng June 16. It was June 11 nang dumating yung passport. Tapos nakalagay sa visa ng anak ko, female. So sabi ko, oh my God, paano yan eh? Tapos Diyos ko. Ang maganda sa passport, when they found out the problem, Megan, the lawyer, I think she did something. She called, ang balita ko, she called the US Embassy in Manila to help out and expedite. So, na-appreciate ko talaga yon kasi talagang at my wit's end na ako. Sabi ko, oh my God, anong gagawin ko? Pati yung husband ko kasi yung visa niya mag-expire na sa he had to leave. Yung mga anak ko wala nang matitira sa kanila. So sabi ko, oh my God, dapat. Pero naayos siya. So for me, for kids, for those of you who have kids, bring also yung mga, if they have medications, bring. Tapos, mayroon naman mga over-the-counter dito na Tylenol. But I had my stock also of their medicine, like cetirizine, kasi meron din silang allergy, cetirizine, mga initial, mga pang-fever, pang-asthma, yan, meron ako supply for them. Pero after a while, when they were able to see their provider here na they had their own pediatrician already, ayun, binigyan na lang sila ng sarili lang medications here. So, yeah.
Ano yung, do you think the most important preparation that you and your family should do, of course, before deploying to the US?
My husband and I kasi we were exposed to, traveling already eh. Tapos pati yung kids, ganun din. I mean sila, my eldest was able to travel a year before we left to the US, so at least nakita niya. But my youngest, first time niya mag-travel ng ganong kalayo. I would suggest for those who have little kids, kasi at the time, my kids were 4 and 6 years old. So, it was my husband who traveled with them. I made sure they had yung mga puzzles, they had their own stuff to keep them busy in the airplane kasi they can get really, really rowdy and bored. So, meron din. Tapos mga snacks and stuff. But then, preparation-wise here, mabilis mag-adjust ang kids eh. Wala kang masabi sa kids. Mabilis silang mag-adjust. They can adjust to anything talagang easily. Pero alalay din. Kasi sometimes, baka, may ibang, hindi naman kasi rin maiwasan yung bullying, di ba?
Yes.
So, make a conscious effort to talk to your kids, especially when they go to school. Kami ng husband ko, we always ask them every day what happened in school. Is there something that we should know about? Ganyan. You should always stay with your kids and don't forget na palikin nyo pa rin sila Filipino values even if you're here. Kasi iba pa rin ang Filipino kids kaysa sa American kids. You guys, for those who are coming here, you'll get to see that for yourselves. Iba talaga ang kids natin sa kids dito.
Sa Nebraska pa rin sila nagsuschool, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
sa Nebraska pa rin. Dito pa rin kami and we plan to stay, Miss Reza, here kasi tahimik. Tapos, we fell in love with the place kasi ano naman siya, Miss Reza, kahit na probinsya, okay siya. Kasi we're far from the city, yung magulo. Nandito kami sa may suburbs kasi. So, tahimik. I don't know about you guys, but kami kasi we want a quiet life lang eh. So, talagang naging happy kami where we are kasi yung mga tao laid back, conservative. Tapos yung mga kids ganun din.
So, ayun din, Myra, actually, many of our candidates are curious then about getting a driver's license, having a car, apartment cost, tsaka yung banking in the US. Can you share your experience on how did you apply for a state driver's license and yung importance then of having your own vehicle in the US?
Yes. Dito kasi, mahirap talaga pag wala kang car. Promise. So, we were lucky kasi yung mga sisters ko and then sisters ng husband ko, they were kind enough to give us, yung sister ng husband ko was kind enough to give us one of their cars. Parang gift na niya for us coming here. So, we were lucky in that sense. But for those who don't have relatives, don't worry. Kasi Passport USA and Health Carousel, has a tie-up with IAS. And my friends who purchased cars from IAS, wala silang masabi. Kasi talagang may rental car kaagad that you can use while the car you ordered is not with you yet. And then covered by insurance yun and stuff. And then as far as I know, wala silang naging problem talaga. As in smooth purchase of the car, smooth everything. And then for driver's license, it depends on what state you are in. But for us here in Nebraska, they don't. You can, di ba, we were required kasi to get the international driver's license before deployment.
Yes.
I had that, but then they did not honor that here. They honor it in some states, but here in Nebraska, they don't. So I had to take an exam, a written exam, and an actual driver's test. Mabilis lang, madali lang. All you have to do is study. Kasi here in Nebraska, meron silang parang booklet that they give out. You just study that. And then they have an online parang test sample exam. So I took that. Parang before I practice exam. Ay naku, Miss Risa, yun din. Yun din yung exam doon sa DMV. Kung ano yung lumabas sa practice exam, yun din yung sa DMV. So, mabilis lang. And then yung driver's test, we just went around the block. They just wanted to see if I could follow stop signs. Dito, pag stop talaga. Complete stop. If you see it, stop. And then, hindi ka, kunyari may nauna sa'yo sa stop sign. Ito, advice ko sa inyo kasi ang funny story ko dyan, nag-drive ako here with my international driver's license. Hindi pa ako nag-exam noon. Hindi pa ako nagbasa ng driver's manual noon. Nadala ko yung aking Filipino driving mentality here. So, nahuli ako. But then kasi yung officer, kasi nangyari noon, there was a stop sign. Di ba tayo dyan sa Pinas, pagka nag-go yung nasa harap mo, go ka na rin. Dito, hindi. Pag may stop sign, magsa-stop ka. Kahit na nag-go na yung nasa harap mo, you have to stop. Ang ginawa ko, nag-go din ako kasi sumunod ako dun sa kaharap ko eh. Oh my God. So, nakuli ako. And then, buti na lang, dala ko yung international driver's license ko, yung officer, tinamad, i-process. So, sabi na lang niya, sige, I'll let you go this time, but please be mindful of your stop signs. So, at least hindi ako nahuli, wala pa akong record and stuff. So, yun. So, don't bring your Filipino driving skills here kasi dito talaga iba. Pag stop. Get your driver's license as soon as you can. And then, for opening bank account, kasi kasama ko si Karen nun yung IES ko, but all you need is an ID, a valid ID. Since wala pa yung green card ko at the time, I just used my Philippine passport. Okay naman sa kanila. So, once you open it, nag-open ako ng account with one of the banks here. with the help of Kara. And then dito, magkaiba with the Philippines. Diyan kasi 'di ba savings account ang talagang ginagamit natin. Dito checking. Checking ang ginagamit for everyday. For everyday purchases, checking account. Tapos yung savings account, may yung parang lumalabas na checking account dyan. So you have your debit cards. And then with regard to credit cards, you really have to build up your credit score first before you can get a credit card. I was able to get a credit card on my second month here. I got a Discover kasi usually Discover may yung first credit card yung dito kasi yun okay lang kahit na wala pa kayo masyadong mataas na credit score. They're gonna give you like an initial of siguro $500 na credit limit and then you build on that. So walang problem dun. And then for apartments, I would suggest for you guys, kasi kami, what I did was I got an apartment near my near the school of my kids. Tapos, since, kasi naisip ko, since ako naman, I have a car, I can drive, tapos I drive talaga, so I can drive to work. Pero at least yung kids, nadadala ko every day sa school. Naglalakad lang kami to go to the school. Kasi in some states, libre yung school bus for the kids. But in some states like ours, may bayad siya. So, para makatipid ka rin. But at least ako, nakatipid ako. Hindi ko na kailangan ng school bus for the kids. Diba? Tapos, parang banding time din namin to go to school. So, sa umaga and sa hapon, nahahatid sundo namin sila by car. Nagka-car kami pag sobrang lamig. Pero pag yung summer yan, naglalakad lang kami to go to school. Tapos sinusundo namin sila sa hapon and stuff. At least may bonding time pa kayo, di ba?
Yes, and exercise na din yun. Of course.
Exercise. Totoo yan.
Mahirap ba mag-commute dyan? Wala bang mga public transport, by the way?
Here, meron naman, Miss Reza, okay naman ang bus transport. Kaya lang, ang mga bus stops will be dependent on, di ba? Minsan maglalakad ka talaga ng malayo to get to the bus stop. Dito naman kasi ang mga bus talagang sa bus stop lang magsa-stop eh. They will not, hindi parang dyan na pwede mong parahin or stuff. Dito, gusto lang yung designated bus stop, doon lang sila magsa-stop. Magpipick up ng passengers, magbababa ng passengers. So,
and yun nga, Mai, you have informed us kanina din that minsan pag sundo ka na Andre and Rafa, you're using your car. So I would like to ask, are you using car seats and yung importance of having a car seat? So ano ba yung ruling dyan sa Nebraska?
Yes, here in Nebraska, they have to have a car seat. Like for a baby like this, meron sila talagang infant car seat. And then once the kid turns 2, pwede mo na siyang ilagay dun sa parang yung next level na car seat for them, yung front-facing na. And then after siguro mga at 6 years old until 8 naka-booster seat sila. And then yun. Pero lagi sila naka-seatbelt. And they kids can never stay in front, can never sit in front sa car. Kahit na I think they can sit in front mga pag teenager na mga 13, mga 14, pero all others dun sila sa likod and always with seatbelt. Always wear your seatbelt. Very strict sila dito with seatbelt. And then for car seats, syempre mga first time, I would suggest go to the fire station. If you've already purchased your car seat, you know, kasi hindi kayo marunong magkabit, don't worry. Go to your local fire stations. They will be able to help you. Sila magkakabit para at least tama yung pagkakakabit dun sa car. Don't worry about it. Punta lang kayo sa fire station, okay na yan. They will help you.
Alright. So, yun din, I would like to ask as well, ano ba yung mga requirements na dinala rin ni spouse during your arrival there in the US? Kasi di ba, of course, siya lang kasama ng mga kids mo during their arrival. May mga requirements ba siyang dinala?
So sa kanya, sila, I was very strict. So inayos ko kasi lahat yung Miss Reyes bago ko umalis. So yung packet nila, yun lang yung hindi ko nakita kasi syempre I wasn't with them anymore nung binigay sa kanila. So always bring your packet na hindi mo dapat buksan. Sila lang magbubukas dito, yung the brown envelope or something. So bring that. Dapat nandun lang siya sa carry-on nyo, ha? Huwag nyo ilalagay dun sa inyong check-in kasi hindi nyo makukuha yung check-in baggage nyo until after sa immigration. Kailangan na yung packet sa immigration. So always keep that handy. Just put it in your carry-on luggage. Tapos, ano pa ba? Requirements. Ang husband ko kasi nagdala lang ng yung mga papers niya. Yung mga pwede niya for identification, just for him to apply for a job. Nagdala rin siya ng extra set of yung school papers niya just in case. Yung mga TOR, yan, may dala siyang ganon. And then ako kasi I had all our civil documents na Miss Reyes with me. So, meron akong birth certificates. So, very, very, very important na meron kayong birth certificates for everyone. Yung PSA na birth certificate. And then for those who have kids, please bring your birth certificates kasi very strict sila sa age ng kids, especially sa schools. So when you register with your school district, they will ask for a copy. They don't need the original. They will just make a photocopy of it and then they'll hand you back the original. They don't get the original documents here kasi. So just a photocopy and then yon. So they will be very strict about the age of your kids. So, yung grade level nila in school will be dependent on age.
I see.
So, nagfa-follow sila doon. For those who have little kids, who are gonna start their schooling here, they have to be 4 years old by September. Yun ang requirement nila. Dapat 4 years old to start preschool. They have to be 4 years old by September. Tapos for kinder, they have to be 5. For grade 1, they have to be 6. Ganyan. Ganyan sila ka-strict, Miss Reza. So, parang ito, those who were born after September na, magiging 1 year delayed sila. Kasi they don't care if, marunong yung anak mo magsalita and stuff, they will follow the age. Kahit na mag-ABC dun sa officer sa school, they don't care. So, okay lang. Okay lang naman yung 1 year delayed. Okay lang yan. Don't worry about it.
In terms naman, Myra, on the financial preparedness prior leaving for the US, ano yung maa-advise mo to our candidates?
I'm pretty sure naman meron naman kayong savings, di ba? For me, kasi ako talaga, Miss Lisa, ito talaga true story. I only had kasi yung ni-reimburse nyo sa akin, di ba? Di ba there's a reimbursement, 50-50, 50% dyan, and then 50% after 3 months of deployment here. So what I did was, yung binigay nyo, yung nakuha kong initial na 50%, that was the only money I brought here. I left all my savings first sa Philippines kasi I had a different situation naman because I still had kids, staying in the Philippines. So sabi ko sa husband ko, siya na lang, kasi joint account naman kami. So sabi ko, ikaw na mag-close. So at least, pero for those who have, yung mga single, tapos those who are thinking of I would suggest, if uuwi-uwi pa naman kayo sa Philippines, okay lang naman na iwanan nyo muna yung account nyo na bukas. Para at least pag uuwi kayo, meron kayong pesos. Tapos, kasi gano'n na ginagawa namin para at least meron pa kaming, hindi na namin iisipin masyado na mag-withdraw here. Kasi pagpapapalit ka pa ng dollars and stuff, di ba, hassle. So, ako, ang ginawa lang namin is, yung account namin dyan, naka-maintain pa rin, meron pa din. Para at least when we go home, meron kaming mapaghuhugutan. Pero meron din kaming inuuwi na amount just in case for emergency. Ako, sus, $1,000 lang ata dala ko nun. $500 lang ata, $1,000 ang dala ko nun in my pocket kasi naisip ko, pwede naman ako magpa-wire sa asawa ko or I can loan from my sisters here. Pero for those who don't have relatives, I suggest sundan nyo yung sinabi ng Health Carousel kasi they will send you an email to prepare. I think ang nilagay nila doon was like 2.5 ba? 1.5 or 2.5 per person. Enough na yon for mga 3 months. Totoo yun. You really need mga, siguro at least 2.5 per person talaga. Tapos, o nga pala, kasi my sister who was deployed before me had, hindi naman baby, parang 2 years old ata yung anak niya noon. So, may dala rin silang milk. Just in case, kasi syempre medyo expensive ang milk dito. Not like there. So, yun. Pero, basta magdala lang kayo ng initial, mga supplies nyo for at least 2 to 3 months. Just to help you save din. Kasi, syempre, kung hindi pa kayo nag-work, kasi pagdating nyo naman dito, hindi kayo kagad mag-work eh. Kasi ang dami nyo pang hihitayin, like yung SSN nyo. Ako, I waited for my SSN for like a week and a half. Pero now, I think because of the pandemic, I think mag-wait kayo ng mga 3 weeks, 4 weeks for your SSN to be released. Hindi ko alam yun yung nababasa ko. Pero yung, when I gave birth, kasi I recently gave birth, di ba? Itong baby ko, nakuha namin yung SSN niya 5 days after. Tsaka yung birth certificate niya 5 days after. So, I don't know. Siguro depends per state, Miss Reza. Kasi yung state namin, siguro wala masyadong nagfa-file. Kaya mabilis. Pero kung tipong parang California na ang dami, siguro matagal. Hindi ko rin sure. Pero kasi nung nag-start yung pandemic, di ba parang sarado ata yung mga offices, mga government offices. So nahirapan yung ibang na-deploy, kumuha ng SSN. So parang na-delay sila mag-start. Pero I think now, parang mas okay. Pero don't expect na pagdating nyo the next day mag-work kayo. No, it's not gonna be like that. Kasi you have to wait for your documents, you have to wait for your SSN, and your green card, of course. Ang green card ko dumating, I think, mga 1 month after eh. Even if in-apply ko na siya. Kasi di ba ako kasi, Miss Reza, ginawa ko, dito ko na in-apply yung ko nun eh, yung green card ko nun eh. Dito ko na binayaran. When I got here, that's the time I paid for everything, pati yung green card. I think my dependents, yung sa green card na dependents ko. Pero I think yung green card ko, paano ba yung
Philippines. Sa Philippines so binayaran.
Sa Philippines kayo, di ba? Oo, yung sa applicant, sa Philippines. Pero sa dependents ko, kasi nagtitipid ako noon, tsaka ang dami kong expenses noon. So sabi ko, hindi, pagdating ko na lang sa US, saka ako babayaran yung sa dependents ko. So I did that on my own when I got here. Pero I think yung sa mismong primary applicant dyan muna sa Philippines. So I got mine, I think, July na. When I got here to Nebraska, July na. July ko na nakuha yung green card ko. And then pati yung SSN ko. And then they will mail it to your to Passport USA. Tapos ang IES nyo yung magme-mail sa inyo. Just to be sure na makuha nyo yung green card tsaka yung SSN. Very, for those of you who pick Passport and Health Carousel, very lucky kasi talagang, for me talagang wala akong masabi kasi talagang assistance nila all the way. Talagang wala akong naging problem. And every time na meron akong concern and problem, talagang nire-resolve nila. Alam ni Miss Reza yan kasi up to the last minute, may mga problema ako before I got deployed. Alam ni Miss Reza yan, I did medical and stuff. Tapos, sobra.
Facility.
Tapos sa facility, pero talagang ginawa ng paraan ng passport tsaka ng Health Carousel, which talagang right now, very thankful ako kasi yung napuntahan kong facility, although hindi siya magnet hospital, okay siya, trauma center, tapos okay naman. Okay yung experience ko and everything. Tapos yung nakuha kong apartment 8 minutes away lang from the hospital. Tapos yung apartment namin halos nasa tapat lang ng school. So at least in that aspect. Tapos malapit kami with everything, like with sa grocery, sa church, sa schools. So in that aspect, very lucky talaga na dito ako napadpad. Kasi ang advice ko rin sa inyo, guys, for those who will be deployed, wag muna kayong picky dun sa mga facility nyo. Just get kung ano yung ibigay sa inyo. Kasi, when you get here, get your experience. Kasi when you get here, after your contract with passport, ay marami na kayong ma-applyan. You can go anywhere. Pero kung saan muna kayo ma-deploy, dun muna. Kasi malay mo, parang kami, we fell in love with the place talaga. With the way of life kasi slow, tapos hindi yung fast-paced, slow, tapos talagang for kids. And very peaceful. Yun yung gusto ko dito. Very peaceful yung life namin. Tsaka quiet lang. So, just always think na kung saan kayo ilagay, may reason yan. Talagang it's for you. Diyan muna kayo. And then after a while, branch out kayo. If you want to go places, they're fine. Pero for me, kasi ang way of thinking ko kung saan kayo, dun muna kayo. Huwag kayo muna masyadong picky. Para at least kasi ang important makarating na kayo dito, di ba? So be patient lang, konting tiis, konting tiyaga. Kaya naman natin. Parang ang mindset nyo, nakayanan nyo ang Pilipinas What more yung dito? My goodness. Nakayanan nyo yung sweldo natin dyan. What more dito? Di ba? Huwag na masyadong huwag mo na masyadong huwag mo na masyadong maghangad ng sobrang taas. Alam mo yun, everybody starts here at the bottom. Pagdating mo dito, back to zero ka. So, just get experience kasi talaga magagamit nyo yun yung experience. Kasi dito talaga, pag wala kang experience, wala. Talagang very, sila dito, very, based sila talaga sa experience tsaka sa credentials mo. Not like dyan sa Philippines na kung meron kang backer, makakapasok ka dito, wala. Talagang hard work talaga kailangan. Tsaka ipakita nyo lang sa kanila na kaya nyo. Okay lang yan. Kaya yan, kaya. And trust Health Carousel, trust your case managers. Basta i-trust nyo talaga yung tumutulong sa inyo dyan. I mean, I know yung iba siguro nagiging impatient kasi syempre sa current situation that you're in, you really want to leave for your family, But then trust the process. Yun lang masasabi ko. Trust the process kasi hindi pwede talaga madaliin. Alam ni Miss Reza yan.
Yes, napakaganda ng ng insights mo tungkol dyan. Huwag masyadong picky. And tama ka, everybody starts at the bottom. Talagang kahit na yung experience mo sa Pilipinas, kung 10 years yan, mag-umpisa ka talaga from the bottom. That's very nice. That's very nice.
Totoo yan. Kasi may mga nakikita rin ako mga ibang Filipinos dito, ganyan ng mindset na bakit si ganito, bakit si ganyan, bakit si ganon. Tanggalin niyo yun kasi every time na titingnan nyo yung iba, wala. Mas maganda pa rin na na you start from the bottom kasi talagang
Start small, grow big.
Ayun yung asawa ko. Start ano yun?
Start small, grow big.
Start small, grow big.
Yeah. Oh, maganda yun. Maganda yun.
Oo, kasi
nung nag-start ka pala.
Pangit talaga, ma'am, na tanggalin nyo yung mentality ng pagdating nyo dito, tanggalin nyo yung mentality ng Pinoy na lagi nakatingin sa iba. Tingnan nyo yung sarili nyo, focus lang. You can never go wrong. Pagka ang ipupuhunan mo yung sarili mo, you can never go wrong. Huwag yung titingnan nyo iba, hayaan nyo iba. Mag-focus kayo sa sarili nyo, mag-focus kayo sa family.
Exactly. Naku, nadali mo. Tumpak, Pinoy na Pinoy. Mahilig tumingin sa ibang tao, di ba? Before they look for themselves, di ba? So, they tend to compare, Filipinos tend to compare themselves with other people.
Don't ever. Tsaka dito, tanggalin nyo yung sa Pilipinas, chief nurse ako, sa Pilipinas, ganyan. Wala yan dito, they don't care.
Yes.
They don't care. Kasi here, iba ang credentials nila. They will always look for your credentials, guys. So, ang i-goal nyo here, get your certification, like your med-surg. If you're a med-surg nurse, get your certification for medical surgical. If you're a a pediatric nurse, get your credential for that. Kasi unless meron kang documentation, unless you have a license, unless you have a documentation that you're a med-surg nurse, a pediatric nurse, it doesn't matter here. Kung kung wala kang credentials, wala talaga. Wala. Tsaka experience, they really look for experience here.
Yes. So, with all of those informations, okay, so how did you, how was your experience during your orientation and your first day at work? Kasi, di ba, yun nga sabi natin, we will have to start from the bottom. So, were there some difficulties during your orientation and your first day? And how were you able to cope up with those experiences kung nahirapan ka?
For orientation kasi, I had a week of orientation. They were orienting everyone, the new nurses, to the hospital, the system. Kasi syempre here, ang difference rin here is wala ng paper trail. It's all computers already. So they will orient you to the computer system that they use, either Cerner or Epic. And then they will teach you how to go about that. And then after a week, I was already on the floor. I met my manager, and then we went over my schedule. I don't know in other facilities, but here it's my manager who does the schedule. But then Mercy One, the hospital I'm with, self-scheduling doon. So at least pagka talagang direct hire ka, you just do your own schedule. Pero kami kasi as passport nurses or contract nurses, it's the manager who makes the schedule. So parang fillers, yung kung saan merong slot na needed, doon kayo lalagay. Ako naman kasi, ang maganda sa manager ko, ma'am, she asked me what, hold on, Lolo is calling, go outside. So she asked me what schedule I wanted. I said kasi ako kasi night nurse ako talaga eh. So sabi ko night shift ang gusto ko. So I work nights, but it depends. And then so when I met her, she gave me my initial schedule. Ang initial schedule ko noon was AM. Kasi nga my preceptor was AM. So I had to go with my preceptor. Initially 6 weeks ang orientation kasi on the floor para with your preceptor. Pero ako, I just had 4 weeks of orientation with my preceptor and then pinakawalan na ako. 2 weeks AM, tapos 2 weeks night na, tapos onwards na. And then my manager just called me into her office and said, well, you had a good evaluation, you can go solo already. And I said, are you sure you want me to go on my own? Sabi niya, yeah. Kasi maganda naman daw yung evaluation, both preceptors ng AM tsaka night. So at least, guys, just do good on your orientation tsaka yung sa preceptorship nyo. Sa preceptorship period, I suggest talaga i-maximize yung preceptor nyo. Ask all the questions you want to ask. Huwag kayo matakot magtanong. Kasi buhay ng tao hawak nyo tsaka iba ang culture dito. Talagang pag may mali, oh my God, talagang they will call you out. Kahit yung pasyente, they will call you out talaga. And then pag ayaw ka ng pasyente, they will fire you. Sabihin lang, you're fired, I don't want you as my nurse, get me another nurse. And when they say that, they really mean it. So talagang kailangan mong pag-igihan. So I suggest, huwag kayo mahiya sa preceptor nyo kasi they're there for questions. Tsaka training period niyo yan yan yung time yung pwede kayo magkamali. Kasi, syempre, bago kayo especially those who came from yung hospitals na hindi naman yung big four natin sa Manila. Syempre, yung equipment dito iba, yung protocol dito iba. So, huwag kayo mahiya guys, magtanong kayo dun sa preceptor nyo. Kasi hindi kayo ipapahamak ng preceptor nyo, I swear. Talagang tutulungan kayo niyan. Kasi syempre, lisensya din niya nasa linya pag nagkamali kayo. So talagang maximize your preceptor. Huwag kayo mahiya. Always ask them. Kahit na mukha kayong tanga, okay lang yan. Kasi at least nakikita ng preceptor niyo, talagang gusto niyo matuto.
Yes.
Kasi hindi kayo magtanong. Tapos i-assume ng preceptor niyo, alam niyo, tapos nagkamali kayo. Mas malaking problema, di ba? So always just ask them. Kahit na makakain ka, okay lang yun. Don't worry. At least safe kayo, on the safe side kayo palagi, guys.
How can you describe your journey in the US in one word?
Fulfilling. Very fulfilling. Kasi kahit na sobrang hirap, it's really hard to work here kasi dito talagang every minute counts. Talagang totoo yung sinasabi nila na talagang kailangan mo magsipag. Kasi pag hindi ka nagsipag dito, wala ka rin pera. Wala ka rin sasweldohin. And then you really have to take care of yourself. Kasi pag nagkasakit ka, oh my God, mahirap din magkasakit dito. Kasi syempre, you have to go to your provider, tapos papa-check up ka, and then pag sinabi nila, no, you can go, you have to report to work ka talaga kahit na masakit yung katawan mo. So, you really have to take care of yourself, you guys. Fulfilling in the sense na nakikita mo lahat ng pinagpaguran mo. Like, you will be able to afford everything that you've dreamed of. Your car, a place of your own, tapos lahat ng whatever mga gamit na gusto nyo, kung brand conscious kayo, you'll be able to buy all the branded things that you want. Magsipag lang kayo talaga. So fulfilling in the sense na even if you're really, working hard to the bone, you really see where it's going. Nakikita nyo kasi makikita nyo na ipundar nyo. Like some of my passport friends, they already have their own houses. So, you'll be able to get everything that you want. Konting tiyaga lang talaga. But everything is so fulfilling. For me nga parang in my 3 years here sa US, tapos under passport, grabe, as in, di naman sa pagmamayabang, at least may naipundar kaming 2 cars already. And then we'll be getting our own house by next year. So, yeah, tapos yung may baby kaming bago. So, yeah. Very wala akong masabi. Talaga, ang masasabi ko lang talaga, I always tell Miss Reza naman before, tsaka right now with Ashley, with Passport USA, and the /Health Carousel, I tell them that I'm very grateful for a Passport and Health Carousel kasi if it weren't for you guys, lahat kayo, we wouldn't be where we are today. So talagang just be patient, you guys. You'll get here. Promise, you'll get here. Be patient. Just trust in Passport and Health Carousel kasi they know what they're doing. Promise, they know what they're doing.
Exactly. Thank you, Myra. Those were very valuable insights. Alam mo ba yun?
Yeah.
Ang dami mong naibigay sa amin na tips, and this will really help our future nurses dyan sa US pagdating nila sa Amerika. Maraming salamat. And of course, salamat din sa pag-accommodate mo sa amin. At,
anytime.
Diba?
Let me know if I can help in anytime. Okay lang.
So, yun lang. Raisa, do you have any message pa with Myra?
Yeah, thank you ulit, Mai. And hoping on your next vacation magkita tayo. I think you went here last year ba?
Yeah, I went there last year pero saglit lang yung mga 2 weeks lang ata ako dyan, 3 weeks, and then my last visit was February until March kasi nga because of mommy. And then di ba alam mo naman yung nangyari kay mom, so at least talagang 2020 is my year talaga. Yeah, marami nangyari 2020. I mean for everyone, not just for me but for everyone. But yeah, tingnan nyo, ito na yung ito na yung isa, second.
Diba,
Rafa,
Pogi?
si Rafa ang second.
This is Rafa. You guys
Hi, Rafa.
Once again, Myra, maraming salamat sa iyo and sa iyong pamilya, and may God bless you.
Thank
Carousel.
you. Hello.
Bye.
That's it for our episode 2. Thank you so much, Myra Katrina. It's a pleasure to be able to connect with such an exceptional and accomplished nurse like you. Please tune in to our next episode of KamUSta Nars. Bye!